Hello again, Internet. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. Got another property here in the southern portion of the state. This is in Luna County in an area that I really like. I think it's a good area for building. I think it's also a good area for investment. And based on the way that these properties tend to sell, I believe our buyers agree with me on that. So let's get to talking about it. This is reference number LNNM-0008D, located in Luna County in the Deming Ranchettes subdivision. This is 2 acres of land, and this 2 acres is a combination of 4 adjacent half-acre lots. And as you saw up here, this 2-acre property is priced at $1,900. So let's bring this up on a map. As with all of our listing pages, come back down here, click any one of these GPS coordinates, and it will appear here on Google Maps. So I'm going to talk about the subdivision first. I just want to show you guys this these 4 lots. You've got a corner lot right here, and then you've got the other 3 running the length of this road right here, this New Frontier Drive. Unfortunately, when you go to map view, you're not going to get a plat overlay, but if you come back to the listing page and look at how we have it laid out here, you'll get a sense of what these 4 half-acre lots would look like side by side. So that is the approximate size, shape, location of this piece of real estate. Okay. So anyway, let's talk about the subdivision. First off, for those of you who haven't watched one of these videos before, this is Luna County is a small little square county down here in the southern portion of the state. It runs from the Mexican border up to just north of the 10, and basically what I'm outlining here are the dimensions of the county. Most of the land in the county is this subdivision, is the Deming Ranchettes subdivision. It's a massive subdivision that goes from the highway up here down all the way roughly to about here, running west of the Florida mountains, west of Rockhound State Park, west of the Goose Egg, as I call it. It also goes about halfway down the Goose Egg on the east side. So all throughout this region, and even encroaching upon this mountain area over here, you will find lots that are all part of this subdivision. So first thing I like about the subdivision is that if you zoom in here on Deming, of course is the county seat. You've got the dense concentration of population up here. You've got the highway running through here. You've got all the government buildings, the airport, so on and so forth. Generally, when you find a subdivision like this, there'll be this concentration of population, and then the further north, south, east, west you go from it, generally everything sort of dies off. There's no utilities. The roads are poorly maintained. There's nobody living out there, so on and so forth. And property values, decrease rapidly the further you get from that concentration. That is not the case in Deming. That is not the case in the subdivision. Basically, all of this probably, at this view looks unpopulated, but if you zoom in on any portion of this map, what you're going to find are homes out here, really homes all throughout this region, family farms, things like this. And you can zoom in on any portion of this, and you're going to find that because, as noted, the nice thing about Deming Ranchettes is that there's power, if not on every street, power on every other street. So really easy to get hooked up to the grid. Should you decide to build out here or over here, you're going to have easy access to utilities, number 1. Number 2, the roads are very well maintained all throughout this area. It's rare to find a road that is not well maintained out there. And part of it is general maintenance. Part of it is just the arid climate of the region. There's not a lot that tends to overgrow on those roads that would make them difficult to traverse. So point being, anywhere you buy land out here, you're going to have power pretty close by, if not at the lot line, and you're also going to have very well maintained roads. Now, additionally, the second thing I like about the sub is that when the developer came in here and bought up all this land and built Deming Ranchettes as a subdivision, they did it the right way, which is to say that they chopped everything up into half-acre parcels but sold them 2 at a time. So what you'll find out here, a lot of first, second, third generation landowners who have at least a minimum of 1 acre of land. This, of course, is important for anybody who's watched these videos before. You know that in quote-unquote undeveloped portions of New Mexico where you don't have utilities like water or sewer, you need at least 1 acre of land to build on. Now, or 3/4 of an acre, I should say. Now, it's not a hard and fast rule. You can build on things that are smaller, but there's going to be more permitting involved. There's going to be more fees. You're going to need to work around a lot of zoning laws to get whatever you want built on that property. So the point is that when you have at least 1 acre of land, you can avoid those hassles. You can install a conventional well, a conventional septic system, so on and so forth, and you're not going to really have to deal with a lot of the hassle that goes into things that are smaller than that. So point being, that's one of the reasons why you see so much of this region built up, number 1. Number 2, why it will continue to be built up over the years. So I like these, as I said, as good building properties because, number 1, you have enough land to build on conventional structures, conventional septic, conventional well, etc. But you also have easy access to power, and you have well-maintained roads. And with something like this, the area is only going to continue to grow as time goes on. I mean, right now, if you bought this piece of land, this is what the area looks like, but in a few years, there's going to be a home here and a home here and a home up here, so on and so forth. So values will continue to go up as time goes on. By the way, let's just go back to the photo gallery down here at the bottom of the listing page. As with all of our properties, we have photos taken from the property itself. So when you come out here, you can see that, number one, this is what the roads look like. These are well maintained. You've got power really running all throughout this intersection here. And then you've got photos from the property. Because this is 2 acres, of course, I was saying that this is good investment property. I say it's good investment property not because I think this land is going to be worth $1 million in 5 years or because they're going to find gold or oil on it, but because at this price, it's very difficult to lose money on land. So you can buy this property, you can build on 1 acre, you can resell the 2nd acre, you can buy this and you can just immediately relist it with a realtor or just post ads on Craigslist, trying to sell 2 acres for, whatever, $500 down and $100 a month for whatever, 60 months or something like that. Generally, when you offer terms like that, people will take them no matter what the eventual, cash price is on the property. So point being, good investment property like that. The other reason I like this region, as you can see from these photos, is that a lot of this property out here is a very flat, very buildable property. It's not too rocky, not too hilly, etc. So if you want to come out here and just park a trailer and put down a cement foundation on it, you're going to be able to do that because the land is so accommodating for that. It's not going to require a lot of grading, a lot of you're not going to have to do a lot of work on the land to make that happen. Additionally, as you can see from the photos, you've got some beautiful mountain views out here. That's another thing with really all of this subdivision is no matter where you're situated, you're going to have these beautiful views of the Florida mountains out here. And of course, here's more of the land. Aside from pulling up some weeds and some scrub brush that's out here, it's not going to be difficult to build on this property. And as noted, you've got power running along the lot line. Anyway, I will let you guys explore the photo gallery more on your own time. I should also mention we've got a drone video down here which is going to better demonstrate property, terrain, surroundings throughout all of the Deming Ranchettes subdivisions. This is not property specific. This is really just from all over the region. But it'll give you an excellent sense of what things look like out there. Anyway, with all that said, I just want to point out some valuable links for you guys. If you're thinking about buying this, if you want to do more research on what you can and cannot do out here, I advise you to come up here, click on CCR. So we've got this PDF over here. So when the Deming Ranchettes subdivision was first created, of course there are covenants, there are restrictions that go with all the land throughout the area. None of this is really too onerous. None of this is too strict. There are, I think, roughly 200 units out there, and each unit has its own set of covenants and restrictions. They're largely the same. They're largely uniform. I don't know why they bothered to do one of these documents per unit, but they did. Point being, if you want to check this out, much of this... Here's what I'll tell you. Down here, the final page, this is the portion that really pertains to this Unit 68 where the property is. And when I say Unit 68, just to give you, Unit 69 where the property is, just to give you a reference, that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, these are all the single-family dwelling rules. Again, what you'll find is there's nothing too strict, there's nothing too ridiculous here. This is the one, point number 3, that says minimum square footage of 600 square feet. We have a lot of buyers who are interested in doing things like tiny homes. This would indicate to me that this is something you can do depending on your definition of tiny. If 600 fits that, then you should be able to build a tiny home out here. Now, of course, I add with that one caveat, which is that before you buy land from me or from anyone else, it's always best to call county planning and zoning, talk with them about your specific plans. If you want to build a house, if you want to build a single-family residence, that's never going to be a problem anywhere, particularly with a piece of property this big, 1 acre, 2 acres, whatever. But it's always good to call a place like this, planning and zoning, and just ask them, here's what I want to do, can I do it? Specifically, if you have plans like tiny homes or shipping container homes, or I got a call from somebody today who wanted to build a pyramid, for instance, on a property. Always best to talk to the county about those things. While you are in this section of the listing page, I should point out we also have some other helpful links here. PNM is the local utility company that services this region. If you want to talk to them about the cost of getting hooked up to the grid, call them, talk to them, find out what's involved in that. As noted with the property here, you've got power right here, the power line running all along this southern portion of the property. So you've already got power lines on the land. It should not be difficult. It should in fact be quite affordable to get hooked up to that. A lot of power companies will do it for free just because they know they've got a paying customer now. Point being, PNM is a good resource. Talk to them about that. Additionally, if you're going to get a well drilled on this property, the office of the New Mexico Office of State Engineer, the people you want to talk to about that, about getting permitted for a residential well. I should point out that when you see an area like this where you've got people already living out here, 1, 2, 3, family farm over here, it's very likely that the water table is, pretty accessible, and it should not be too costly to get a well installed on the property. That being said, it's always good to reach out to local well drillers and ask them, say, hey, I'm looking to buy some land in Deming Ranchettes. What's the water table out there? I mean, you can find that kind of information on the Office of the State Engineer website. You can see what, the depth of wells that are drilled in that area. But you can also just reach out to a well driller and just ask them, say, what should I anticipate the cost being? How far down do we have to drill? What's the cost per foot of drilling? So on and so forth. And they can advise you better on that. So we like to provide those links to help you guys with research on the properties. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, with all this said, I would tell you that if you're interested in purchasing this property, just come up here, click the Buy Now button. It's going to bring up this secure checkout right here on the website. We need a couple pieces of information from you. Name that you want on the deed, name or names, as well as the tax address where the county is going to send the annual tax statement to. Agree to the terms of service, click Next, and on the next page you'll be asked to enter credit or debit card information. Once you have given us money for the property, as far as we are concerned, it is yours to do with as you please. Go out there, begin, hiking, camping, building, what have you. That being said, it's going to be about 3 weeks before you have a copy of the recorded deed in your hand. Within 24 hours, we'll get in touch with you. We'll have a deed emailed to you. Once you approve it, make sure we spelled your name right, things like that. We're going to autograph it, notarize it, and mail it off to the county. County records, and then they forward it on to you, which is why it usually takes that 3-week period. Anyway, with all that said, thanks for watching the video, guys. If you have any additional questions, any follow-up, give us a call, 702-919-7170. Shoot us an email, support@hemingwayland.com, or leave a comment here on the YouTube. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.